The big story of the day is that Perfect Dark has asked for help or created a partnership between them and Crystal Dynamics. Um, this has caused a lot of alarm and concern by people, and I wanted to talk a little bit about the history of what has been going on with Perfect Dark and what this could mean for the development of the game. Before I get into it, don't forget to hit that subscribe button, hit that bell to know when these videos go live. So I realize that the title of the video is potentially sensational, but I got your attention. And let's be honest, like on Twitter and just the overall reaction to seeing that the Initiative, a brand that is basically supposed to be the big flagship title for Xbox, has asked for help from Crystal Dynamics. It's a little surprising until you start looking at some of the details about how the studio has been developing over the last few years. The Initiative isn't as big as you might think. It's around 70 employees, and they've been working on the game. So here's what's happened with the Perfect Dark game. The Initiative tweeted, "Perfect Dark update. We are partnering with Crystal Dynamics, the world-class team behind character-driven games such as Tomb Raider, to bring this first-person spy thriller to a new generation. The teams couldn't pass up a chance to work together. We're still early in development, but incredibly excited to use this unique opportunity to deliver on the vision for Perfect Dark." Now, here's what Crystal Dynamics has said about the collaboration. "We couldn't be more excited to join forces with the Initiative to bring Perfect Dark to a new generation of gamers. We thrive on reimagining epic heroes and can't wait to realize this first-person spy thriller together. We're thrilled to add Perfect Dark to our development efforts alongside Marvel's Avengers and Tomb Raider." So for me, Marvel's Avengers is a little concerning because I don't think that game lived up to expectations. Granted, it's ongoing, so potentially it could improve. I've heard good things about War for Wakanda, etc. The more hopeful aspect is the fact that they worked on Tomb Raider. Now, Tomb Raider was a very well-crafted game, and I really, really liked what they did with it when they were able to bring the Tomb Raider franchise back. The first one being better than the second. So some people started saying like, oh, this is weird. Like Crystal Dynamics and the Initiative, this Xbox studio working together is a little interesting. Here's what Clobril tweeted about the situation. He said, "Crystal Dynamics is joining the Initiative on the development of Perfect Dark. Daryl Gallagher is the studio head at the Initiative, previously studio head at Crystal Dynamics. So this seems like a natural outsourcing resource to boost development based on past connections." Imran Khan, an industry professional, said, "I think people underestimate, one, how many people you need for a AAA game, and two, how hard it is to hire 200 to 300 people who all have the necessary experience for a debut game and gel as a team in a relatively short time frame." Sort of alluding to the fact that the COVID situation has definitely impacted their ability to continue development on this game in the timeline that they wanted. Now, I have some personal theories about the situation. One being that I think they're trying to get the game done a little faster than anticipated. So they're early in development, meaning maybe they're potentially trying to look to get these extra resources to increase the speed and quality of the product. So if you have like 300 people at Crystal Dynamics helping you, and then you have your team of 72 really focusing on the core vision of what the product is going to be, that seems like a good situation for me. It seems weird because we haven't really seen anything like it before. We haven't actually seen what Perfect Dark is going to be. Being early in development means they're probably just doing like really, really basic tests about what the game looks like, if they've even gotten that far. So a little bit on Drew Murray. So Drew Murray left the Initiative in February. "I guess 10 years, 5 games, and 6 job titles just wasn't enough. I'm excited to be rejoining many friends and former colleagues at Insomniac Games as a principal designer. That takes me to my 7th job title. Now I just need to work some days and get some games, right?" So he used to work at Insomniac, and then he returned to Insomniac. About the initiative, he says, "It's been extraordinary working shoulder to shoulder with such a talented and experienced team, many of whom are great friends now. Mystery surrounded the project when I joined the studio, the initiative. I didn't know what kind of game it was. I didn't know it was going to be Perfect Dark, and I didn't know anyone on the team. 2 years later, we announced the franchise with a trailer that still gives me goosebumps. Most importantly, the team has the vision and talent to knock the game and franchise out of the park. My silver lining to all this, is that I'm excited to join the screaming masses on Perfect Dark launch day to experience the game." So I have a theory here. Drew Murray left the initiative, I think, to work on Wolverine. That would be my guess. I didn't actually look on his LinkedIn. Let me do that really quick. I'll edit it in. Yeah, so he tweeted that, "I've never been so excited to work on a project. I'm grateful and humbled to be working with this mad team at Insomniac Games that makes me scramble every day trying to keep up. #claws, #out." So Drew Murray involved with the Wolverine project. Honestly, if I was offered a gig to work on a Wolverine game, I would take it in a second. Wolverine is my favorite character in potentially all of comics history. So he left in February. And he posted all that stuff and then said, later on, he said, "After 2 wild years helping start the initiative, Xbox, and rebooting Perfect Dark, it's time for me to say a tearful and bittersweet goodbye to my team at the initiative. It's been extraordinary working shoulder to shoulder with such a talented and experienced team, many of whom are great friends now, but my life outside of work needs more attention and headspace than I have been able to give it lately, so I'm stepping down from my role. Mystery surrounded the project when I joined the studio. I didn't know what kind of game it was. I didn't know it was going to be Perfect Dark, and I didn't know anyone on the team." So, referencing a few of the quotes that I mentioned earlier. So what I want to say is, to answer the question of the video, it's a little alarming and a little concerning when you first see it. And when you start hearing about why Drew left the company, and largely I think it was because he was excited about Wolverine, he has very positive things to say about the initiative, that partially left them with having to figure out everything that's going on alongside the whole COVID pandemic. So I think it's a good thing. I think the core team is going to be able to control the vision of the game, and I think they're going to have the support that they need to make it an excellent game. But let's be honest, time is going to tell, and we're just going to have to wait and see what ends up coming of Perfect Dark. Perfect Dark isn't a franchise that I personally am super excited about, but the piece of concept art that they've been showing around lately, it reminds me a lot of Splinter Cell. So if they're able to do anything, I loved the mechanic. A lot of people didn't like it, but were we able to mark and then execute? That was really, really fun in the Splinter Cell series. And I would love to see something like that in Perfect Dark. And I get that vibes from the image. A lot of the concept art is sort of painting the idea of what they want to create with the game. So I'm excited to see what happens. Definitely surprising news, and I'd love to hear your thoughts about it in the comments below. Hey, thank you so much for watching. I'm going to get out of here, so hit that subscribe button, hit that bell if you like these videos. If you want to become a member to support this YouTube channel, you can do so by clicking the join button and then selecting the tier of your choice. I try and upload the videos with no ads for all members as often as possible. Thank you so much for watching. I'm going to get out of here. Have a good one, everybody.